There's Jacques Reland joins us from London for more on this. He specializes in French and European economic and social policies. Mr. Reland, thank you so much for taking time to speak with us here on TRT World. Firstly, recent surveys suggest many people do not want the Yellow Vest protest to begin again. What are your thoughts on it?
Yes, I think the majority of the French people don't want the Yellow Vest protest because the Yellow Vest protest was successful. They got what they wanted last time around. And after that, the movement petered out. They got what they wanted because Macron reacted fairly quickly. He was caught on the hop initially, did not expect the protest to spread so widely while it was just over fuel tax, but immediately he had to react. He reacted very quickly in December and gave loads of measures, cancelled the fuel tax, which had been at the heart of the problem after that, and then took a lot of measures which involved 12 billion euros of public spending, with special measures for the working poor, such as reducing, making overtime tax-free and social and payroll tax, income tax and payroll taxes free, giving more benefits to workers, and cutting the rise in contributions in social contributions for pensioners. So therefore, basically all the demands were met. And after that, the movement without leader was petering out, and the only claim seemed to be Macron out. But at the same time, there was nobody else to take over, so the movement died down. But now there could be big protests coming starting next month, and this time they will be led by unions and not by grassroots people.
Of course, and I believe that these protests next month are supposed to deal with the pension policies that Macron is planning to deal with. Do you think that he will be able to? Do you think protesters will start again?
It's difficult to say because this reform has been in a pipeline for a while. We are now in the second period of the mandate of Macron. In the first period, he was Jupiter, as they said, with imposing measures which were not very popular and opposed by unions, such as reforms of labor legislation, reforms of the status of railway workers. Union protested, but Macron held firm, and the reforms were voted. But the Yellow Vest reforms, the Yellow Vest protest movement has shown that violence can pay, and that if you have protest about measures which are quite popular with the electorate, then you can have the support of the population. And unions have understood that, and this time on the pensions reform, it's a very difficult topic, and maybe I think that Macron has bitten a bullet, has taken more than he can chew. No government in France has tried to have to implement such a radical reform of the pension system. And we've seen that already Macron has been very hesitant about pushing the reform, making sure that it will not affect too many people, etc. But one thing also I would like to mention about the Yellow Vest protest. The Yellow Vest protest has obliged Macron to change his economic policy. Before the Yellow Vest protest, it was all about balancing the book, cutting public spending. Now it's a different tune. And Macron, even in an interview to The Economist, said that fiscal discipline and the 3% objective of no higher than 3% deficit is something which dates back to last century, and that now we must actually throw fiscal orthodoxy out of the window. And we see the economic results have proved that maybe it's the right approach, because French economy has been growing at a fairly high rate, much higher than Germany, 0.3%, and this growth has been driven by increases in purchasing power following the measures taken in the wake of the Yellow Vest. The purchasing power in France this year is going to increase by 1.9%, which is the highest figure since 2007. We've seen job creation and etc. So there's been a change in economic policy, and now maybe also he will have to change his tune, or at least propose a reform far less radical that he intended when he initiated this ambitious reform.
Well, he may have to change his tune, but as you said, violence can pay. Thank you so much, Mr. Reland, for sharing your expertise and analysis. We really appreciate it. Thanks again.